And if you constantly focus on finding the truth, you're going to see people who just can't even talk to you because they're just lies. Everything they do is a lie. Their whole existence is a lie. You'll find that you'll become so passionate that people just like, oh, why do you have to talk about that all the time? It's like, why do you have to watch TV all the time? Why do you have to watch football? I can't, I honestly can't stand football. Why? Because these giant gorillas get paid millions of dollars to do what? That's literally, I'm sorry, that's infuriating to me. That is infuriating to me. It's just they should be paid more. We could take the whole salary from the NFL, NBA, NHL, all that combined, and put it towards our entire school system, and we would have some of the most intelligent students in the world if we actually put the money towards it and we stop lying to our students, first of all. Because I know in the textbooks there are completely lies a lot of it. It blew my mind when I found that stuff out. But yeah, man, I'll be on here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. You can always tune in and listen. I'm going to be getting a Facebook page going for Thrice, Thrice's Daily Download. My name's Andrew, but I go by Thrice is my music and host name. Also my tech name. I'm sorry?
My name is Patrick. I don't know if you saw it down in the chat.
Yeah, I see you there. Well, nice to meet you, Patrick. Yeah. But you can check me out on Facebook. I'll load it up in here real quick. Andrew James Saita. You can search me, and you'll see it should say Andrew James Saita. It's the only one. But if you want, connect with me. If you have any questions, I've got a lot of connections groups on Facebook that there's a lot of people out there, man, and they're looking. It's definitely, like I said, it's why I'm speaking out. Because for me, I missed out on the last 5 years of studying with other people who are like-minded because of fear, because of this. I look at the attack on Illuminati and Freemasonry as the attack that can unite all religion. Because the reality is when you point out these devils and demons, who do you get already? You got Christians, you got Jews, you got Catholics, you got Muslims, all on your side. Because you're saying that this group sacrifices babies and they all murder people and they're all part of this global conspiracy, and every single one of the millions of members of these secret orders are part of, this global conspiracy, which is totally fake. There's only like so many thousand people who are actually involved in the secret, New World conspiracy. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
Just keep your eyes open, trust your gut. Always trust your gut. And that's one thing that at 24 I'm really learning is trusting your gut, and knowing that if you have a dream.
Have you started a YouTube channel?
I'm actually working on it. I have YouTube. I have a YouTube channel for a couple different things, but I just haven't gotten a chance to sit down and get the videos going. I've got a couple things going on. That's why I said you should connect with me. Because
I was thinking me and you, could get something set up.
Well, like I said, man, I've got a lot of things in the chute. This is one thing. Thrice is way bigger than just this radio show. I've got, like I said, man, when it comes to practices and who I am and what I'm trying to accomplish, I'm aiming pretty high. So I'm down to pick up 80. What?
You want a logo for Freedomizer.
Freedomizer's got it.
I know.
Yeah, Freedomizer's got it.
One of my latest in the chat. I did it.
Oh, yeah. So Freedomizer's not my thing. Yeah, Freedomizer's not mine. Thrice's Daily Download is just a show on Freedomizer. But yeah, I do logos too. I do web design. I'm getting into Android development and HTML development right now, as well as JavaScript. I've got two companies.
What do you think of the logo that I made? I did post a link to the image in the chat.
Oh, the Sandline logo?
Yeah. and I made that.
Yeah, it's pretty good, man. Is the Yeah, I mean, well, with tech nowadays, man, tech is, I'm not trying to say it's not a good job. I'm just saying, if you know how to work tech makes things a lot easier nowadays. So like I said, man, just connect with me, and I'm always looking for new people who are looking to learn and get involved in the cause. Because like I said, there's a lot that I'm doing and I'm involved in. So this is just one thing, Thrice a Daily Download. It's just a way that I can get on the air and really, one, share news, because I feel that mainstream news just sucks. And it's really hard to find a good alternative news where they just go through the daily topics, you know what I'm saying? It's always like a huge opinion. It goes on for hours. So what I do is I open up for my first 20 to 30 minutes. I just do news stories. And I do give a little spin on, what my perspective is of how it relates to, like the border issue, and how I haven't seen any major real problems, but they're making it seem like we've got terrorists crossing the border and we're going to all blow up. But it's like, has anybody been arrested? Like, I'm just, looking at the evidence, and I'm, you don't really see it sometimes when you see some of these stories. So I like to do that just because, Jon Stewart is basically one of my only ways to get news. You know what I'm saying? Because it's so hard to even find good news sources nowadays. But yeah, man, just disconnect. It's going on 1:30 here. I'm actually going beyond what I normally do. So, but that was, I think I covered pretty much everything I wanted to talk about. Did you have any other questions or any other things you wanted to talk about before we got going here?
Yeah, I don't mean to spark another, half-hour-long conversation, but...
We've got a half an hour, man. We've got a half an hour. Go ahead.
All right. You said something about how if you are aware of your... basically, if you're aware of what is going on, it's basically your choice whether you allow yourself to be psychically attacked or not. How do you know if you are under psychic attack, and so that you can bring it to the conscious mind?
Patterns. That's the easiest way I can say it, so your subconscious can understand it. Okay, now I'm going to go into an explanation, but just remember, the real answer is patterns. Okay? So when I say patterns, what I mean is, like say you smoke cigarettes and it's bad for you, right? And you keep smoking. Okay? That is a social programming. So that's not somebody psychically attacking you on a individual level. That is somebody who psychically attacked the entire world. You know what I'm saying? So that's, when you see the pattern of I'm getting a smoke at this time, I think about this and I want to smoke a cigarette. I see somebody on TV and I want to smoke a cigarette. You get what I'm saying? So when you start to see the patterns in anything, that's where the answers are. It's like the Matrix, this is a favorite, when wake up, Neo, and he goes, who is this? And then it says knock knock. He clicks on his keyboard twice, knock knock, and then the door goes. So 3 times, 2 knocks. So right there is a pattern, and then follow the white rabbit, and then at the end, for those of you who haven't seen Matrix, go see it. But at the end, when he goes to go into the real world, he looks through the looking glass. So right there is a pattern, and that's where people who are artists or magicians, in their sense, they'll use TV and movies in order to show you things. And not all of it is evil, even if there's these connotations. So, it's really interesting when you get into that stuff, man. It just look for the patterns. That's the biggest thing. It's really, you're saying not to spark a whole other conversation, but that's really, that's a really simple question, and a lot of people overthink it. They think that it's some huge thing of, well, I feel this burning feeling. It's like, yeah, you can get that, if it's really hardcore and you got somebody really messing with you, or because the government's trying to kill you. I've heard of those things, or if you're intercepting a transmission because you're sensitive. I mean, there's certain things that they use in order to communicate that are not a part of the normal systems. They're these old towers that are around everywhere. They're like electrical towers. And there's all sorts of things that are going on. And then at the same time, though, like I was talking about earlier, if you were listening, the AC current that's in the walls around you, that's the stuff that they use to electrocute you in the electric chair. So it has a negative effect against your cardiac system. So you've already got electronic radiation all around you. You've already got, radiation from driving in a car and then flying in a plane. Like, there's all sorts of attacks energetically. When I say spiritually sometimes, but I like to say energetically. But they're the same thing. That's the biggest thing that we're missing. That's why, like, with my company, Life is Like Training, I like to incorporate quantum physics with the ancient mystical teachings, because it shows, hey, guess what? Thousands of years ago, they understood science. Like, they understood the newest science we know now. And here's a fun fact. Quantum physics, it came out in the 1920s, 1930s. And we're just now, as a mass population, starting to talk about it. How's that for blowing your mind? You're like, that blew my mind. It's just like, how do we not understand that we are these amazing creatures? So yeah, just recognize the patterns. Sometimes you can psychically attack yourself. Or you can psychically attack yourself. Where you just create the situation. And that's where one of the sayings of a magician is, be careful for the demons you cast out. For if you don't properly cast them out, 7 more will return. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't properly protect yourself and you're playing with the wrong kind of things, you could have a whole host of wrong kind of things come right back at you because you weren't paying attention and you delved in the wrong things you shouldn't have. I've met plenty of people who are just like, yeah, I don't do that stuff no more. And you ask them and they're just like, you don't, it's just, when they talk about all that weird stuff, it's real. There's a whole nother part of the world out there that like I said, there's stories of black ops fighting, mythical creatures in the northern borealis forest. And that's where they talk about the whole cutting down the trees and everything. Why are they really cutting down the trees? Well, if creatures were hiding in the trees and I was a scared little monkey who doesn't understand spirituality, I'd try to burn and cut down everything too. So, but yeah, does that answer your question a little bit though?
Yeah. Yep. So you're saying there's actual physical creatures out there, or
physical what?
Creatures.
I am saying that there is evidence that human being is just a concept, and bipedal organisms are very diverse. Like, the whole, it's just, we have a lot of mythical creatures that are in our history, and they're not just in one culture, and when it comes down to it, there's a lot of theory with the Druidic and Northern cultures that say they just left. They just kind of like they're hiding from us because we're so violent, and that's the story of the gods, is that the gods made us in their image and we were their working slave class, and then we rose up and basically said, screw you. And so they fled from us. They fled from our sight so we couldn't hurt them. Because that's the truth, Do not, the Bible, when Eve eats from the apple, God says, they have eaten from the tree of knowledge, so now they are like us. We must cast them out, so that way they may not eat of the tree of life and become full immortal as us. So already in the Bible, this one thing we call God is talking in a multiple sense, and saying, oh shit, this monkey is becoming like us now because they realize they're like us. They know what good and evil is now, and if they take a bite of the tree of life, crap, they're going to be just like us and be immortals. And that's a trip. And I'm not saying that's true or false. I'm just saying, when it comes down to the books and the history out there, it starts to become the storyline. You know what I'm saying? To where their immortality is a concept that we are immortal beings already, but it's just the lack of knowledge of how to be immortal. You know what I'm saying? We have an illusion. We have an illusion of being born. But the reality is we're being reborn, and birth isn't even a real term to use. It's just what we call it.